in this video, we'll be creating a bobatea lens, and it's super exciting because we're going to add in a trigger, and this trigger allows us to open our mouth, and when we open our mouth, the tea goes up, as how you see in the video. So let's get started. So it's going to be a new project, so we're starting from scratch, so we're not going to use any templates today. And what we're going to do is that I always have this habit of putting in my assets first. So my assets are here, and don't worry because I'm going to add in the assets in the description box as well, so you guys can just get it from there. Just pull that in. Okay, let's close that. Now the first thing we're going to add is we're going to add a twinning script. So it's a script actually that allows us to do animation within Lens Studio itself. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to find for helper scripts, and under helper scripts you will see twin manager and also the behavior script. That's the one that we're going to use later. So we're going to add in twin manager, and as you can see here, let's give it a minute. When it appears, you see a lot of different things here. So using the twin manager, you can do rotation, you can move it from left to right, you can change colors, you can make something transparent. So this allows you to create animations within Lens Studio itself. But for now, we don't need the examples. So let's just right click and delete that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the scripting to the top so that it's in charge of everything that we change at the bottom. To start off the lens, we'll change this idle person here to an open mouth person. Why? Because our trigger for today is open mouth, right? So it's easier for us to see. Then go over to your objects panel, click on add new, and we're going to add in a screen image. Why? Because a screen image is the image that is on your screen but it's not attached to your face. Let's rename this. Rename this to, the first thing I'm going to add in is I'm going to add in the hand holding the boba. So I'm just going to name that hand boba. And here I'm going to rename it to hand boba as well. Hand boba. Easier for me to see later. So click on this, highlight hand boba, the second one here, and then go over to your inspector panel, click on texture and change it to the hand boba. And we're going to put it, it's going to move from outside to inside, right? So let's just put it out here and we'll just keep it here for now. Okay, once that's added, let's add another screen image, and this time we'll be adding the tea. Oops, I meant for it to be outside. It's another thing. So secondly, we're going to add another screen image, and this one is for the tea. So let's just add in screen image. Okay, rename this to tea. And then this one also we'll rename it to tea. Okay, click on that. Go over to your inspector panel, click on texture default, and find for tea background. Okay, so let's make it bigger because we want to fill up our whole frame, right? So make this bigger. Okay, let's reduce the alpha so that we can see ourselves in the screen. Okay, and we'll move it down. Move it out of the screen. We'll keep it there first. Okay, close that. The next thing we're going to add is we're going to add new, another screen image. This time we are adding the bubbles. So the first bubbles I'm going to add are the more bubbles, the ones that you usually get at the bottom of your bubble tea. Okay, more bubbles. Rename this as well to more bubbles. Click on this, texture default, my more bubbles, and I get this right. And again, we're going to move it downwards because they are always at the bottom. Skip it here first. So we're putting everything outside of the screen. Why? Because we want to move it in later for the animations part. And then the last thing we're going to add in is we're going to add new. So first, make sure you don't highlight anything here so it doesn't become a child of that object. So add new screen image. And this time, we're going to name this as bubble, because I'm going to add a few bubbles. I'm going to add 3 bubbles. So just name this as bubble. I will name this as bubble 1. Bubble 1. Okay. Click on this texture default and bubble big here. Okay. So I can change the size, make it smaller. Usually when we drink bubble tea, there will be 1 or 2 that floats, right? So this is the one that floats. It's just for the effect of it. Oh, okay, make it smaller a little bit. Okay, move it down. Just keep it here first. And then I'm going to duplicate this because I want about 3 of them. So just right click, duplicate. Because they're the same bubbles. I'm just going to change the size. And this is going to be bubble 2. I'm just going to move it to the side a bit. Okay, because this is another bubble. So I'm moving it here. And I'm going to duplicate this to bubble 3. In bubble 3, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Because I just want it to be a little bit bigger here. And I'm just going to put it at the side. Okay, so we're done with all the bubbles as well as the tea and the hand. Now let's get into arranging them according to where we want them to move, from left to right, right? Or up to down, or down to up. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to our inspector panel and add a component. So for the component today, we're going to add in a script. So look for the script. Where is my script? Okay. And we don't have to do any coding because we already have the twin manager, right? So the script that we're going to add is we're going to add a twin. And next thing you're going to click on is the twin types. So to explain a little bit about how each twin works, twin alpha here is for your transparency. So you want it to become from transparent to opaque or from opaque to transparent. And then twin chain is when you have multiple assets that you want to move at the same time. Twin color is changing the color from red to blue, anything from one color to another. Twin screen transform is when you want to transform the position of a 2D image. That's what we're going to use today. Because it's a 2D image that we're working with, we are not working with any 3D images. Twin transform is for 3D images. So maybe you want to transform from left to right, rotate it. When it comes to 3D images, you can do more. And twin value allows you to change values. But the most important ones that we usually use will be twin alpha, twin color, twin screen transform, and twin transform. So for today, since we're going to work with 2D images, let's click on twin screen transform and say OK. So now what I highlighted was the hand boba, right? So for my hand boba, now I have a script. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add in a twin name. Now the twin name is the most important part because you need to remember that whenever you use a twin name later on in your behavior script, when you want to add on the trigger, you need to put the exact twin name. And here I'm going to put hand boba. Just make things easy for you. Okay, hand underscore boba. Okay. And if you notice, this moved automatically, right? So don't worry about that. It's normal to happen. Now, loop type, you can add in either a loop, meaning it continuously moves, a ping pong, where it moves front and back, or ping pong once, where it moves front and back only once. But you don't see that now because I haven't added the values here. So if you notice your values here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the position that is the one that I'm going to change for the type, right? I'm changing position because I want to move it from left to right. Scale means you're moving it from small to big. Rotation rotation, and anchors means we're moving from one point to another. There's a few movement types here. From and to means I'm moving from this place to that place. To is only one way, from is only one way. And offset is when you have an anchor point and you want it to move from there always. So it's not that you have to put the from values and as well as the ending the to values. So there's no start and end. But it's usually okay for us to use from to. So for us to have the movement values, we have to have the start values as well as the end values. So if I'm going to start here, that means I can look at the values here. Look at your screen transform in your inspector panel. There's something called advanced. And in your advanced, there will be positions for your X, Y, and Z. So all you have to do is take this position, copy that, and move it down. And paste it here from the start. Okay. Then the Y one, the Y value, copy, paste it here, and our Z value, copy, paste it here. Now why is it moving vertically? It's because all of it goes to 0, right? So what we can do is stop playing automatically, and we can see where the cup should be based on where we position it here. So usually it should go to your mouth, right? Okay, so take the values. Again, go to the advanced part and take the values here. Now what are your positions for your X? This is your position. Move it down. Then the Y. And your Z doesn't change, right? So when you play this automatically, this happens. Okay? So you see this animation happening. But right now, I don't want any loop. It's just as soon as I start the lens, when I turn on my camera, the first thing that comes out is the hand. So let's just keep it as that first. Okay. Let's close this. The next thing we're going to move to is the T. So you're going to do the same thing. Click on T, go over to your inspector panel, add component, add a script, and this script is going to be a twin types, twin screen transform. Twin name here would be T, and then we're going to start the from and to. So go to your advanced, take the X value. Okay, I don't have to change my X value because it's still 0. My Y value here changes, so I put it at the bottom, and my Z value as well. Okay, and where do we want it to move to? Probably we want it to move up, right? So let's move it all the way up. Not too much because we have the see here. Way up, and we can see the values here. So only our Y value changes. Put it down, and our Z value is the same. So now you can see this happening, right? Let's put this as a loop. Yeah. So that's what's happening. But I'm going to change it to none. We're done with the T. The next thing we're going to do is the more bubbles. Same thing. Click on your more bubbles. Go over to your inspector panel. Add a component. Script. Add script. Twin. Twin types. Twin screen transform. Put a proper name for it. So I'm going to put more underscore bubble. Bubble. And my position again, where am I going to move it from? I'm going to move it only here, right? So initially it would be here at the bottom. I don't want it to be up yet. Okay, so my values here would be click on advanced, and you can take the Y value here. And the Z value here. And then where am I going to move it to? I'll just move it here, and then I'll look at my position. You can also play with your numbers, but I prefer doing this way because I know exactly where I want it to be. So click on this, take the numbers, and then this doesn't change. Just going to copy that. And now if I reset this lens, this happens. Okay, so for this part, it would be nice for us to add in a quadratic easing function. So the easing functions are all the quadratic functions that you see. And here, let's put in an elastic function because we want it to just move up and down. So an elastic feel to it. So we're adding an elastic feel to it. Okay, and what we're going to do now is we're slowly going to start doing it for our bubbles as well. So go to bubble 1. Go to add component in your inspector panel, click on script, add script, tween types, tween screen transform, and this is going to be bubble 1. Okay, so now I'm going to move this from here, paste, to here. Let's see, I want to move it somewhere here maybe. Yeah, this is fine. I'm going to take these values, copy, paste, and here I can change the time and the delay if I want to. So if I wanted to move up faster, I can change this to 0.8 maybe, so it moves up faster. A delay would be something that as soon as it goes up, maybe you can add in a delay of like 0.5, so it comes up only after a while, but some people might not like it, so I'm just going to reduce it so it goes up almost the same time. Yeah, okay, same thing goes to your bubble 2. Add component, add script, tween types, tween screen transform, and now I'm going to name this bubble 2. That is my name, bubble 2. And my from and to is going to be the same again. Here I'm going to take the advanced settings. So here is my y-axis value, and I'm moving it. Okay, this is 40, and I'm moving this here. I want to move it up a bit. Okay, I'm just going to move it a little bit higher. Okay, so let's take our values here. This value as well. Okay, and again, let's change our easing function to elastic. I think I didn't change that for the first bubble, right? So elastic bubble 1 as well, elastic. Oh, I changed it. So you have that bounce. So if you look here, the bounce, right? So we can increase the delay time. Let's go to bubble 2 because bubble 2 is moving too fast. And let's increase our delay time by 0.8. Oh no. So it's fine. Okay, so you can play around with this function, and again we're going to do it for bubble tree. Add component, script, add script, twin types, twin screen transform, go down, bubble tree, and then take our positions. Oh, this is a big bubble, so let's say our bubble starts from here. This is too big, make it smaller a little bit. Okay, where does our bubble start from? Our bubble starts from here. Okay, and I'm going to move it here. Not so high up, I guess. Just here. Yeah. I'll just move it a bit higher. Okay. Maybe this one. So my value here will be copy, paste. Oh, I think I accidentally copied that. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And this is also elastic. Where is my elastic? Okay. So as you can see, it's moving too fast. Again, we're going to increase our delay time to about 2, and maybe, sorry, our time to 2 and our delay to maybe 0.5. Okay, my bobatea is too slow. Alright, so we've arranged everything. For the next part, we're going to add in the behavior script. So the behavior script allows us to add in a trigger without any coding. So go over to your objects panel, click on add new to your helper scripts, and you can click on behavior. So you see it here. Now, as what I said earlier, we're not going to let the hand boba come out only when the mouth opens, right? It's going to be automatic. So we don't have to add that in our trigger. So click on behavior and you will see the script here. So behavior initialized when the trigger is a face event. So what is a face event? It's going to be mouth open. So of course you can change it here, but for today I'm going to use mouth open. And in my response type, I'm going to change it to run twin because we added a twin earlier, right? So whenever a person opens their mouth, the twin will start. So run twin. Now what was the target object that we're going to look at? The first thing we're going to look at is the T. So we want the T to move up when we open our mouth. So click on that, say OK. And twin name is the one that's exactly the same as the one that you wrote here. So click on T. And then remember your twin name here. Copy that. Go over to your behavior script and add in twin name. So, only when you open your mouth, the T moves up. You can see that, right? Now, for the others, we're going to do the same. So, instead of us adding one by one, what we can do here is we can just click on the settings here, copy this, right click here and paste component. And here, instead of us having for the T, the next thing we're going to add in for the bubbles here. So just change your target object to more bubbles. Okay, and remember the twin name for more bubbles? see here, go down, copy this, behavior, and paste. So another thing that's going to be triggered by a mouth open would be the more bubbles. Yeah. And then the next part is of course your bubbles, the 3 bubbles that I put it here. So once again, copy this, paste it here, close this up so that you don't get confused, and then change your target object to the bubble. Bubble 1, okay. What is bubble 1's name? Bubble 1. Close that up, go to behavior, add that as your twin name, and it starts when you open your mouth. Copy that, paste it here, and I remember putting bubble 2 as for my twin name for bubble 2. So click on this, change your twin name, change your target object. Then here I'm going to change to bubble 2 because I remember putting it as bubble 2. So my second bubble also moves up that way. And then click and copy, paste this, close this, and here I'm going to change this to bubble 3. Okay, and if you notice, I forgot to add something here. The thing is, you don't want it to play automatically like how it's happening now, right? So what we're going to do is that we're going to go to T and we're going to off the play automatically here, so that it only plays when we open our mouth. So play automatically, turn that off, open this, turn off for bubble 1, turn off for bubble 2, and turn off for bubble 3. Okay, only then they don't appear when you turn on your lens. So let's reset this, and you can see that. Yeah. Let's change this person to another person. Yes, so this is exactly what you're trying to create, because when you open your mouth, only then everything moves up. So that's how you create a boba tea lens, and you can of course try it out by pushing your lens, pairing your device here, pushing your lens, and testing it by yourself. If you guys like this video, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, as I'll be adding more tutorial videos and awareness videos about AR.